So, during our conversation, we've drifted away from New York City, but then in my book, New York City itself is drifting. And in the passage I'm going to read, Miles and Becky have developed the magical skill to travel in shared dreams. And in this case, they're dreaming New York City. It's very real, and Becky is beginning to realise where this magical high wire act might be taking them, and it's not entirely safe. They walked across Central Park. It looked just as it does in the movies, some of which are indeed shot on location, although, particularly in Universal Studios productions, scenes just as plausible and set in the park are in fact shot in Los Angeles. Becky knew she knew this because she had read it in the New York Times during a recent dream. It all looked so real by the boating lake, it hardly mattered. They headed for the park's perimeter. The more we do this, she thought, the more we hallucinate New York, the more like real life it becomes. This is giving me goosebumps. We could die, each thought separately. I could die, or you could. If you were killed in the dream, I might have to die myself before I got you back, if there's an afterlife, if I got you back. They walked on, silent for a while, both thinking their thoughts, some coinciding, some divergent, moved forward through the bright and noisy day. The hot dog seller with his bottles of Poland Spring, the students, the tourists, a team of morose-looking clowns handing out flyers, choppers cawing overhead, intestinal subway grumbling and shuddering, the Moloch maze retinal noise of New York City. Behind them, and they did not see this, partly because there was so much less to see, the street pageant faded into insubstantiality, first sound and then faces and then colour draining out of it. As they moved forwards, the street died backwards. Behind them and unseen, everything fell away to nothing. Here a lonesome hot dog, without benefit of roll or mustard, moved north towards a fading open mouth. There a hand, about to pick a pocket, evaporated into dotted lines, then air, while the evanescent pocket jogged away, itself dissolving. Behind them buildings wobbled, side back into architects' pencil lines, drawn by the draftsman of not today. The dream's over, people. Go home. There's nothing left to see. There's nothing left to dream. Out of the corner of one troubled eye, Becky slightly saw backward into the great wave of zero that streamed out behind them. Unable to bear the thought of nothing, she erased it from her mind. Her memory filled it with something.